Morning, guys. We're on the last verse of chapter 19 of Revelation, and we're just looking at the day of the Lord, it's a day when Jesus returns and he demolishes the satanic kingdom. The beast and the false prophet get locked up into the bottomless pit, and it talks about Satan being bound in chapter 20. And so we see Jesus come back and restore his kingdom, and the judgment is taken out on all the people of the world. And in verse 21 it says, "And the rest were slain by the sword that came out of his mouth." So by the word of God, the rest of those who had come against Christ were slain. And they were sitting on, of him who was sitting on the horse, and all the birds were gouged with their flesh. Remember, we spoke about all those birds of prey coming through Jerusalem and eating on the flesh of those that have died. And so I just thought, before we go over to chapter 20, which is very much a key chapter on the millennium reign of Jesus and Jesus' reign on earth, a peaceful reign where there's a blessing and prosperity, where Satan has been locked up, where the whole satanic empire has been destroyed, the beast, the false prophet, everything's being locked up. And for a period of 1,000 years, there's now a time of peace and rule where Jesus rules. But let's just go back, and there's so many scriptures that talk about this day of the Lord. And it says in Zechariah 14, I'm just going to read from verse 1 to 11, "Behold, a day is coming for the Lord, when the spoil taken from you will be divided in your midst. For I'll gather all the nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses plundered, and the woman raped. Half the city shall go out into exile, but the rest of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then the Lord will go out and fight against those nations, as when he fights on the day of battle. On that day his feet shall stand on the Mount of Olives, that lies before Jerusalem, and on the east and the Mount of Olives shall be split in two from east to west by a very wide valley, so that one half of the mount shall be northward and the other half southward. And you shall flee to the valley of my mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach to Azel. And you shall flee as you fled from the earthquake in the days of Uzziah king of Judah. Then the Lord my God will come, and all the holy ones with him. On that day there shall be no light, cold, or frost, and it shall be a unique day, which is known to the Lord, neither day nor night, but at the evening there shall be light. And on that day living waters shall flow from Jerusalem, half of them to the eastern sea, and half of them to the western, and it shall continue in the summer and winter. And the Lord will be king over all the earth. On that day the Lord will be one, and his name one. The whole land shall be turned into a plain, from Geba to Ribbon, south of Jerusalem. But Jerusalem shall remain aloft on its site, from the gate of Benjamin to the place of the former gate, to the corner gate, and the tower of Hanel, to the king's wine presses. And it shall be inhabited, for there shall never again be a decree of utter destruction. Jerusalem shall dwell in security. And so just a picture of this day when Christ returns and restores the kingdom, and we see the waters, and just picture, there's absolute destruction at this point. And even a third of, as we've been reading, the third of the sea, the third of the rivers have all been destroyed. But now Christ comes, and there's living waters that come out of Jerusalem, and he starts to restore this kingdom back to how it was. And so on Wednesday we'll look at a little bit more as we go into chapter 20. I hope you have a good day. God bless.